I actually weirdly probably only pay attention to roughly 50% or less of what's actually being taught in the class. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Hope you're doing well. I'm having an epic day so far. It's just before 2 o'clock. It's about 1:40 p.m., something like that. I started my day off with a Mandarin lesson, which was amazing.
我觉得每个国家都有每个国家的那个吃的那种方法都不一样都不一样。
其实这个 hummus 不是加拿大菜。
不是加拿大菜。
不是。
那是印度。
也不是。One thing we're doing that's quite different right now in a Mandarin lesson is we are actually, in a sense, creating our own textbook. And the way we're doing that is, first of all, we're actually studying a Mandarin song that I really like, and we're using that song as like the basis of finding new vocabulary, new grammar points, new things like that I don't actually know. So what we do is we read the song, we go through the lyrics, we take all the new things, put it onto a separate page, and then my teacher will basically go and organize it in a way where it's very textbook-like. For example, there will be like practice exercises, there will be like example sentences, there will be vocab pages.
这个真诚呢，真我们把它分开来看，真呢就是 true 是真的而不是假的，是真的。而这个诚呢就是 honest 诚实。诚实。
And it's interesting because I have never felt more engaged with a textbook than I do right now, because literally the textbook is, well, there's not that many pages in it, but let's say this very small textbook is basically comprised of all these different words and terms and vocabulary and grammar and etc. that is coming from a song that I really like and that I cannot stop listening to. And so that's working really well for me right now. It's a little bit of a hack that's keeping me very engaged in my Mandarin studies. Par exemple, qu'est-ce que tu fais? What are you doing? Non? Mais il y a aussi ce que. Juste ce que. Donc si c'est une question, c'est qu'est-ce que. Mais si c'est what, mais ce n'est pas une question, c'est ce que. Hey, it is now lunchtime, or at least for me lunchtime. It's about 4 p.m. or a little bit before 4 p.m. And we're gonna eat this amazing, delicious sandwich that I'm looking forward to. This is super delicious, I'm loving it. But here's a big thing that's standing out from that French lesson I taught right now. When you're learning language, it's really important only to focus on your crucial errors. Even when you're relatively advanced or even like an upper intermediate, you're gonna be making a lot of errors, like a lot of different mistakes, grammar mistakes, pronunciation errors, like vocabulary mistakes, so use the wrong words, etc., right? Focus on the most crucial stuff, because if you try and focus on everything, you're just gonna get overwhelmed and you're not gonna be able to remember all these errors you're making, what you have to focus on fixing, all of that. It's just, you won't be able to. But if you focus on just the crucial ones, just 1, 2, 3, 4 of the major things, and make sure that every time you are focusing on that language, your only real goal is to fix like 1 error, 2 major errors, that's it. I find in my experience that you'll actually make a heck of a lot more progress over time than if you try and do a whole whack load of things at the same time. Like, it's just something I noticed at the lesson. I've thought about it before, but it really stood out when I was teaching there. And I think what happens with some people is especially when they're taking classes, right? Or especially, yeah, I'd say especially when they're taking classes, the tendency basically becomes to just do what's in your textbook or just do what your teacher says, but you're not actually paying attention, for example, to how people actually speak. So one thing I love about classes, for example, myself when I take them, this is actually a weird thing, I've never said this, and I'm really excited to bring this up. When I take classes, I actually weirdly probably only pay attention to roughly 50% or less of what's actually being taught in the class. Like if there's a textbook chapter with 20 words, you can very consistently bet that I might only remember about 10 of them. Because I'm gonna say, I don't like that one, I don't like that one, only these 10 feel important to me, right? However, what I do pay attention to is not what I'm being taught, but how the teacher is acting. So when the teacher is teaching us, right, what are the little filler words that she's using? What are her mannerisms when she's asked a question? How does she react when someone asks? How does she react when she's angry? How does she react when she's frustrated? How does she react or he react when he's happy? How do they react when another teacher walks in and they start talking about something? What kind of language are they using? I'm more paying attention to their actions and not actually to what they're telling us. I don't care what you're telling me about the language. I want to know what I'm noticing about how you actually act with that language. So watch the actions and obviously listen to what they're saying as well, what they're teaching you, that's important too. But equally important, and maybe more important, depending on who you ask, and that's debatable, but at least, I'd say very important, is how the heck is your teacher acting? Watch the actions, my friends. That's a really, really big thing. When do you leave?
I leave on the 15th.
You leave on the 15th? Okay.
Yeah, and there are quite a few things I do want to learn.
Okay.
But I guess today I would love to start with the basics, like things I'm gonna be doing there. Like I already know how to say my name is Diana, or I'm from this university.
Okay. Yep.
But I want to know how, like, maybe converse with taxi drivers a bit, because I'll take a lot of taxis.
Okay.
Making sure that they're kind of not gonna rip me off type thing.
Okay.
I should be a little bit more positive than I'm always.
No. That's in China that happens.
But
unfortunately,
I will be like a foreigner, but
yeah. You've been to China before, though, right?
Yeah, several times. But
okay. Okay.
But I don't even know how to say like how much, or can you turn the meter on or something.
Yeah.
Like this. So those things would be great.
Okay.
I don't even know how to order food.
Okay, so let me write some down. So it was just funny came to mind as you're talking. It'd be interesting if, whether it's like probably will happen in 2 weeks, it'd be interesting if you, even if you're not like amazing at Mandarin, if at some point if you were continuing with Mandarin like longer term and you're learning on your own or tutoring, whatever it is, if your first thing you tried to learn was like specifically things about your work that you would talk about, and even if you don't understand the questions they ask you, because like they're using words you don't know, at least when you're talking you can use words they know, and they understand what's and they're like, oh wow, she learned some Mandarin, you know what I mean? Like it's interesting. Okay.
And I think for me that would have a big impact, because because they know your face, so every time they see you usually twice or 3 times a year. But if each time I make more of an effort, it'd
be funny to see your Mandarin improving every time.
Well, that's the hope, right? And I like learning new languages, and the thing is, like, I'm not maybe so good at the writing and the writing part, but I'm okay with accents and pronunciation.
Cool.
So I'm hoping I will be able to learn that a little bit.
Okay. Awesome.
And my dad's been telling me to learn it for years.
Your dad speaks?
No.
Oh, nice.